Hello, and thank you for joining me. My name is Joseph, and today I'd like to share with you some ideas that I've compiled, and some of them are my ideas, some of them are fan ideas, and a lot of merchandise. No copyright infringement is intended. This work was done for informative and research purposes only, and feel free to use any of these ideas. I don't need credit or compensation. All I would ask is for some consideration for future job opportunities. Any way that I can help your companies to make this joint venture a success, I would be glad to help. Who am I? I am a lifelong Nintendo fanatic. I have 4 years background in specialty advertising. I used to live in Los Angeles, and we did advertisements for Asian TV stations, newspaper, and radio. I am a video game journalist. I reviewed video games for Too Much Gaming, which is one of the top Filipino gaming sites right now. I am very in touch with Nintendo fandom throughout the internet, and I just generally love Nintendo games. The primary goal of this presentation is brainstorming potentiality with regards to brand maximization, with a focus on merchandising, attractions, background elements, and a general vibe to deliver a completely authentic experience to the existing raving fans, and to spin the existing inherent magic behind the IP to create new raving fans. Everyone loves Mario and Pokemon, but why is the appeal so cross-generational? There's something beyond the quality of the games themselves. So what we want to do is get to the heart of the experience, get to the nitty-gritty, the fine details, why these franchises resonate so deeply with the fans. It's not only possible, but it's optimal to simultaneously integrate value and appeal across all bases, and to promote genuineness to hardcore fans, kids, and casual fans. What are some of the characteristics of Nintendo fans? They are fiercely loyal to the brand. Nintendo fans will go online and defend Nintendo. They are often quite realistic about the company, however, based on its past. Nintendo fans are forgiving and understanding, but demanding of quality. Game delays are not a big deal for Nintendo fans, because they know at the end of the day that quality is what matters to Nintendo. Fans genuinely love crossovers between Nintendo's universes. They love being able to say, hey, I know that reference, that's a reference to this game, and then they can play that game all day. Nintendo fans have a ton of respect for the history of the company and for its place in the history of video gaming. Lastly, Nintendo fans are a mix of hardcore and casual gamers, spanning all ages, genders, races, creeds, etc. This guy has collected every single North American N64 cartridge, which is quite a feat. People have entire rooms just dedicated to their love of Nintendo. So why am I doing this? I care deeply about Nintendo and Nintendo fans, and I want to see this done properly. This joint venture has incredible potential if it can tap into the existing fan base well and deliver for them. Number 2 is I am passionate about customer service. I hope that all of these Nintendo parks will deliver must-have products and experiences in a way that rekindles childhood memories in adults and prompts children to make unforgettable memories through shared connections with loved ones of immersing in Nintendo's universes. As a counterpoint, I will present the example of Star Wars. Ever since Star Wars was acquired by Disney, its output has been inconsistent at best. It failed to properly deliver on the potential of a Star Wars themed park. So up here we have a Force World theme park. This was completely conceptualized and made by fans. All of the eras of George Lucas's trilogies and the new sequel trilogy are represented. But what's amazing about this is each one of these sections represents a different slice of the universe. They are all individually themed. It truly fits the definition of a theme park. It feels like a galaxy. Whereas Galaxy's Edge here, first off, was designed around a film that hadn't come out yet. So when the park first opened, people were not sure what to expect. Anyway, I don't want to get into Galaxy's Edge. I could talk about it all day long. I'm not a fan. Okay, so these are the sections of the presentation. I'm going to start with general merchandise and ideas, and we're going to move on to Super Mario Bros. And Smash Bros., which is not really mentioned here, Pokemon, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, Zelda. We'll have a short Kirby section. Donkey Kong is actually before Fire Emblem, I believe. and then Nintendo's other franchises I will touch on briefly. So first off, we're going to go over some general merchandise and concepts. Some of these are fan-made. So this is one of my big ideas here. This is the My Amiibo. The idea is that we will have personalized Amiibo figures for the whole family. Now everyone who's owned a Wii has had fun making their Miis. This is basically custom Miis for everyone. You'll be able to create your designs on smart devices and pre-order in advance. You can have them 3D printed or assembled from parts, depending on what makes sense. You can pay extra for optional premium backgrounds, like these can just be little paper backgrounds, bases, and accessories. This could be a custom Metroid base. There might be a Zelda base. Maybe it has a little LED Triforce on there. The possibilities are really endless here. And then you could have NFC functionality. You can scan in your personalized Mii in future software. So these would be just if you're trying to do something basic here, right? Let's say you've just got sort of custom figures that you can make with several different skin tones, maybe just like 5 or 6 different skin tones. You could use magnetic or vinyl stickers. You can do paint or glue on nose pieces, hats, hairstyles, mix and match clothing. And then these are more ambitious concepts over here. They might be posable, you might be able to hand paint their faces with a kit. Yeah, so the big idea is to have mass appeal to both casuals and collectors. Entire families will want to recreate their Miis. These figures don't have to interact with the software in any meaningful way. What they need to do is to be customizable. Now, if we were 3D printing these on site, it would be really fun to have live stream cameras so people can watch their My Amiibo being made in real time. That would be really cool. So originally when I came up with this idea, it was pre-COVID, and I was thinking that there could be little workshops where kids, maybe families, could even sit down and assemble their My Amiibo with some help from the staff. But now, might not make so much sense. I'm leaning more in the direction of kits that you can take home and assemble. So these are some fan-made custom Amiibo. A lot of these are made by Miss Ganda Chris, who has a ton of videos, and she made this beautiful Etika Amiibo. Now here's another idea. Let's say you can't quite afford one of the My Amiibo, or let's say that idea is a little too far-fetched. These are NFC scannable fighter cards. Let's say you could customize these through the app and have them printed on site. That would be a fairly cheap endeavor, I believe. Here's other potential options for customized cards. Something you might be able to just make in an app on your phone. Here we have a trainer card. You'd be able to choose your 6 Pokemon and whichever region badges you want, and to choose your own styles. You can make custom Mii stickers and have them printed out, vending machines. Animal Crossing passport cards that you can trade with your friends, and that perhaps has your information on there so you can easily add one another. And of course, fans have been clamoring for custom Fire Emblem NFC cards. Now, one of the cool ideas that came out with the 3DS was this idea of augmented reality cards. That hasn't really made a comeback, but the potential is definitely there to use this in the park. I would love to see some of these multiple camera smartphones being able to sort of see into this hidden world of augmented reality. And more along the lines of that concept, here you have a giant Mario in front of a NASA building. So this is the kind of thing where, like, oh, there's a pipe, but if you hold your camera up to it, maybe the piranha plants will pop out. Maybe this is how you might see booze. So here we have some vacation photos. This would be very similar to a Miitomo app. Here we have car decals for the back windows, just to tell people you've got a family. Fans have been making these for a few years now. Ever since Amiibo came out, they've been making these really cool Amiibo displays. This one is really creative. The girders on there. Very simple design. I love this Kirby's Dream Land. This Fire Emblem one is very strong. And I like these Amiibo boxes. Speaking of boxes, here are some miniature diorama cubes from Etsy. Now, whole tons of fans are making these. You know, they are 2D from the side. You can clearly see the care that was put into making these dioramas. They're almost like tableaus of collective memory, forever encapsulated. You know, you walk into a room and you see these little cubes. It just reminds you of the good times. So here are some cosplay products. In the Nintendo World store in New York, they have a mini museum. It just takes up a small portion of the second floor, but you could spend quite a bit of time there just like looking at all of these items from history. I would love to see something like this in the park. It could be a place to just relax. Now here's an idea. Have a fan art gallery space where you can feature fan art that is hand-picked by Nintendo. You could have gallery openings. It would bring the older fans back in. Like, for me as a Nintendo fan, it would be a great incentive for me to get an annual pass just to check these out. Now here are some possible park collectibles we could come up with. Kirby hat figures. Now these would be a real hit. NFC cards. We have retro or regional merchandise, stuff that's only available to Club Nintendo members or that's only available in Japan. I would just love to see some of that stuff brought to the USA. And of course we've got the collective coins, which have been given away throughout the years. I'll get more into those later. Golden cartridges, definitely a sort of premium symbol of Nintendo fandom. Of course the trainer ID cards, which we spoke about, and possibly personalized Animal Crossing villagers. Now these can be, whether we want to invest in it or not, cards or figures, or let's say minifigs. So these are some of the designs for the Kirby hat figures. Even if we can't use some of these third-party designs here, the first-party ones are more than strong enough. These are products from the Nintendo Tokyo store, and I think that they're super strong. Especially these designs. This is pretty cool too. Like entire Mario levels on the Pokemon. Now here's the collectible coins. Really limited items among Nintendo fans. I was thinking these could be traded in a similar way that Disney does their pins. Could have a kind of a coin trading post, so to speak. Now I'm going to go through a whole bunch of keychains. Some of these designs are on sites like Etsy. Here's some more keychains. These with the legendary birds are really cool. I saw them in Akihabara. These are fan-made. Some truly micro little consoles here and displays. More keychains. Now the Nintendo and Lego collaboration, I know they've already shared a video. Just hear me out. They don't all have to be modular. You can make figures such as Fox McCloud's R-Wing, Samus's gunship, and let's say this Pokemon Center one, which I have a slide on that later. Like just traditional Lego sets, and they would be like truly novel. Here we have some concepts for the Super Mario world. Of course, for Peach's castle, you're going to want to have paintings that shimmer as you get close to them. We give guests the impression that there are portals to other worlds within. Very, very cool. The interior, you know, there's plenty of references for that space. I'm sure you guys have got that under control. Here's an idea for a bakery. A place for families to relax and to have some pastries and tea. This is the theater theory from Super Mario Bros. 3. Basically, the whole point of this is just to be able to think about the whole cast as being like performers. Here I have some ideas for a potential Super Mario Bros. Musical show or a Super Smash Bros. Musical show. And they are two very different concepts. This one here is about Bowser Jr. mistaking Peach for his mother. So the Mario Bros. Musical could be based on Super Mario Sunshine. Sort of have a summer/tropical theme. And self-acceptance through empathy and love. Now the Super Smash Bros. Musical, you know, you could have pretty sophisticated choreography mixed with heightened emotions about all of the characters trying to find out why they're there and why they're so far away from their home. Kind of existential stuff. And they may have to confront the Master Hand at the end too. Here's a bunch of songs from the Super Mario Bros. Series that could be used. Here we have a whole bunch of potential interactive elements or badniks from the Mario series. I mean, the list goes on. Dolphins are very cute. They have a really great design. Of course, chain chomps would be awesome to see in live action. These spinies would be fairly easy to make, I believe. Of course, you gotta have the fire bars. Alright, so this is a long section on Princess Peach. I believe that Nintendo has not yet fully capitalized on this timeless character. She is beloved by millions of fans, young and old, male and female. So this is some of the existing Peach merchandise. I would say that it's perfectly adequate for girls for the most part, but it does lack an appeal to her older fans. So first off, I want to talk about a more traditional doll for Princess Peach. Here we have an American Girl doll style. These are Barbies. Fans have gone and made Princess Peach dress patterns for their dolls because there hasn't been an official doll yet, aside from this one. So in my opinion, this is Peach's best design, the Wii U and Ultimate. Her modern design in the Mario Party games and in Odyssey is pretty good, but I think her proportions are still a little weird. Arms are way too skinny. Head is way too big. Neck is way too tiny and thin. And here we have just, it's like proportion issues. I have here the World of Nintendo figure. There's something a little bit off about her. One thing that we've got to understand is she is not a damsel in distress. She only plays one. She is the equal of Mario and Bowser in combat, and she only allows herself to be kidnapped, so the games can have a plot. Of course, Nintendo understands this, but there are some fans who unfortunately don't. Peach is prim, proper, polite, and regal. Always optimistic, she can be aloof and a little sassy, but she never has a bad word for anyone. She loves to daydream and appreciates the finer things in life, such as nicely brewed tea, baking cakes, staying fit, and her castle's lush flower gardens and hedges. In games such as Super Mario Party and Super Smash Bros., Peach can be a bad sport. In Super Mario Odyssey, she cruelly rebuffs both Mario and Bowser. Emphasizing these traits could hurt her image. Light sarcasm is fine, but pettiness is not becoming in a ruler. So Peach is rather carefree and classy, but she does have quite a bit of privilege, and she kind of shows it too. Peach and Zelda, their friendship is an aspect of their personalities that a lot of fans really liked. Here's some cosplay ideas for outfits that might be able to be sold, and I definitely think that these accessories would sell pretty well. These are some aprons based on the Nintendo princesses and their styles. My wife thinks they are really cute. She loves to sew and make things. Here's some more merchandise, more towards the younger crowd, I guess. This is a Peachette outfit. Peachette's design is really cute and could be utilized a little more as well. Here's some fan art, fan-made styles. Some crossover art for Peach. This is Peach as a Pokemon trainer. Super Princess Peach 2. Please make that game. Different style variations. A history of Princess Peach's outfits throughout the years. This lower half here has the fans line, which I think is really good. Rosalina and Daisy also have tons of fans, and Pauline also has her own fans. This Rosalina dress could be pretty popular. For some reason my wife prefers Daisy. I'm not sure what's wrong with her. And of course Pauline has kind of come back as the mayor of New Donk City, and she's pretty cool too. Here are some swimsuits. Now this is all licensed merch here. Stuff that I think is really cool. I'm sure y'all know what sells and what doesn't. Now I wasn't so sure about this Levi's Mario line at first, but my cousins had a look at it and they're into street art. They said it was pretty cool. So, I mean, go for it, you know? If it sells, then it sells. Here's some fan-made Mario products. These designs are really cool here. This is a mod made on, I think it was like an IKEA cabinet or something actually. Some lamps, some glowing rings here. This Rainbow Road ring is really cool. These are wood pins. They also have wooden decal stickers. This chain chomp lamp is really awesome. There's already a piranha plant lamp. This one takes it to the next level. Earrings and jewelry. There might be something similar to this sold in Japan, but I did not see it. Glow-in-the-dark stars and boos and moons. You could also do shines from Super Mario Sunshine. Superstars and Lumas. I really like these Mario-themed Christmas tree ornaments. Of course, you gotta have plans for Halloween. I'll have more ideas for the other franchises for Halloween. You could sell products to help people make themed bedrooms. This is mostly just food for thought here. Alright, so Super Smash Bros. Fanatics, they are a different breed. I follow a lot of the Smash community on Twitter, and they have so much personality. So what are the factors behind the appeal of Smash Bros? Well, it's a culmination of all of Nintendo's IP and universes, a sandbox where anything is possible. The obsession over the Smash Bros. Roster completely enraptures die-hard fans, who argue and debate endlessly over their favorites, driving conversation about the IP. There's a worldwide grassroots appeal due to organic, explosive growth of competitive community over nearly 2 decades now. They love their memes, and they also love series creator Masahiro Sakurai. Now, I think these would be a great item. Official custom stock pins. They could be identifying tags among the Smash community. Here's some ideas for a potential Smash Bros. Card game. These are official battle cards for Smash Bros. Melee. I would just love to have a new batch of these made for Ultimate. Just some sort of portable card game. Be really cool. This is another fan-made tabletop game. My 9-year-old cousin had this idea for a Nintendo-based laser tag, where friends can duel with one another with laser weapons and potential other items. I had this laser challenge set as a kid, and it was so much fun. Yeah, you can have like little LARP scenarios, or you could just have a live show with team members just duking it out Smash Bros. Style. Would be just as cool. I think people would love to see that. Park exclusive Labo sets. That would be pretty cool. Something that you can take home in a simple package, and when you arrive to your home, whether it is here or across the sea, you open it up and create your cardboard armor or weapons and go to town. Maybe you have a little VR set or something. But you can do some sort of Smash Bros. Related exercise perhaps in your living room. So the Smash Bros. Invitation. Pretty cool merch item. Everybody who plays Smash pretty much knows what this means. Isabelle's in a lot of memes because she's so cute. Smash Bros. Roster phone case. Heck yes. Here's some cufflinks. A lot of art has been made specifically for the Smash Bros. Series. Some of these by the legendary artists who worked on the original series themselves, like from Bayonetta, Street Fighter, Final Fantasy. I think it would be amazing to be able to sell that artwork, and fans would pay for it. This Melee cast poster here, that would be a hit among Melee fans. Absolutely it would. Now, a Smash Bros. Arcade cabinet, that would take it to the next level. This right here is a April Fool's Day joke, but fans truly, truly wanted it to be true. Here's a sort of alternative version of the tabletop game, also made by fans. It's a mod based off of BattleCon. I have not played it, but it sounded pretty cool. Now we're moving on to Pokemon. I think the crucial element of a Pokemon theme park would definitely be a Pokemon themed carousel, where young children can ride atop their favorite Pokemon. I'm talking like a massive carousel here, okay? Like, I'm trying to picture it, like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 different rows. I don't know if that's physically possible. Pikachu Safari here. This could be the star attraction for this section of the park. I don't know if you want to do this as a truly outdoor section or indoor dark ride that is more VR, or something that has like giant screens with the illusion of 3D on it. It would be really cool to be able to interact with the Pokemon. An idea might be that you can, if you have, let's say, a VR headset or something, take pictures. But since you're in VR, they're virtual pictures, and then print them out later. Or you can just have it be sort of an outdoor ride and have animatronics for Pokemon. Could be a mixture of animatronics and screens. Pokestops could be featured in the middle of the ride and throughout the park. Now this would be a really cool way to feature water Pokemon. Now here we can create the illusion of a Pokemon aquarium. I'm not exactly sure how the tech would work, but I think it would be quite something. We can have the guests go down a tunnel, and within, everything beyond there is holographic or projected. It'd be really nice to have a Pokemon lab that you could walk into. Perhaps there could even be a ceremony where guests can choose their preferred starter Pokemon, get a Pokeball and little name plaque, and tiny little figurine. Everybody has their favorite starters, but let's face it, some are more popular than others. Theoretically, you could pair up guests with personal quote-unquote companion Pokemon and Pokeballs that can function like Wizarding World wands and help them to interact with park elements. I think a Pokemon water splash pool and slide area, similar to this section in Universal Studios Hollywood, would be really great to help families to cool down in the middle of the day. It would be really cool to feature more popular water type trainers as well. As for the central hub in the Pokemon section, here we have a center/Coliseum. The idea here is pretty much full immersion. You can have this be a hub for tournaments or for quick battles. Now here's the answer to the age-old question: what do we do about the Pokedex? In 1999, Tiger Electronics released this rudimentary 4-line Pokedex. I know because I owned this thing, and I really wish I had held on to it because now they're selling for a lot of money. So demand definitely exists for a working, updatable Pokedex encyclopedia even among adults. Now, this joint venture presents a golden opportunity to sell such an item to possibly tens of millions. Problem is, there's a ton of work required to add 800 plus Pokemon models, input details, and record voiceover narration, not to mention screens, circuitry, materials, etc. It's not cost effective to create an expensive dedicated unit. Ta-da! Here's the real-life Pokedex. This is a combination of a phone case with Pokemon Go functionality and an extra battery pack or power bank, plus a dedicated mobile app. The app would be free with a case purchase or available to download separately for a reduced price. Bandai recently released this 14-ounce Japan-only model for iPhone X. It retails for about $60. However, it is not ergonomic, does not charge the phone, and does not come with a dedicated app. Despite the high price tag and wasted potential, it has been sold out ever since, due to high demand. Now look at this thing. It's totally ugly. It doesn't do anything at all, but it resembles a Pokedex, and it's official. Now, we can do so much better than this. Here I have 3 case studies, haha. Cards and cash could go here. This thing could be RFID blocking. Large, chunky, show-accurate case, obviously should look better than pictured. Features blinking Pokemon Go LED, that would be this blue thing. RFID shielded compartments on door for cards, and an extra power bank battery. So you could embed that sort of along the top here or bottom here, whichever. Swappable back panel and adjustable width and height via clamshell system to accommodate various phone sizes. Now I'm saying $90. That's just off the top of my head. I haven't done any research into that. Here you have a slim profile folio case. Again, you want this to be a blinking LED to alert you when there's a Pokestop nearby. No bells and whistles. Same with this, no bells and whistles, just similar to like an Incipio case. Snap on, rubber edges, nice and simple. Let's talk about the app. All you really need, and you don't need that much, just sprite and or 3D models of every Pokemon, sound effects accurate to the show that will play upon identifying Pokemon, an NFC amiibo and card reader. Pokemon battle cries, basic information such as type, weight, height, or description, town maps, type charts, and trainer tips. So premium functions. It'd be really cool to have integration with Pokemon Go. You'd have a team builder here to help you figure out if your team is possible to build or not. And Pokemon songs. Now these would all be premium, so you pay extra to get that on your app. So here we are returning to the trainer cards created through a smartphone app or website and just printed from a kiosk. Here's some official Pokemon merchandise. Some of it's Japan only, and some of it does have appeal mostly to Japan, but other things I think could really do well here in the West. Here's one of those diorama cubes. These are cool little diorama Pokeballs. This Jurassic Park crossover I think is quite cute. This is a fan-made Pokedex. These shirts are for different gyms. Some more merchandise here. This is a meme. I know there's some Pokemon fanatics who would just love to have either these stylized maps or these more traditional type maps. Here's some cosplay. The Pokemon Battle Cafe would be a really cool thing to have. Just sort of a place for trainers to congregate. Here's the Pokemon Center Lego set. I think it would be fairly easy to realize. As for a Pokemon themed Halloween, well, there's like probably dozens now of ghost Pokemon. I was thinking of going with a sort of murder mystery type story. Splatoon is a up-and-coming franchise from Nintendo. A lot of potential here. Because Splatoon is mostly focused on competitive, sort of capture the flag gameplay, I was thinking of a sort of twist on the carnival-style water gun game. This Splatfest team game could be 2 teams of 8 each competing to fill up an arena with their own color. 4 kids on each side of a square with one of the pre-chosen weapons. The arena is virtual, and AI Inklings, seen as 3D holograms, fight one another on it, but you as a spectator can help them fill it up so they can move around and fight each other. The weapons simulate firing paint which arcs down onto the battlefield. So this is a super ambitious concept actually. It's kind of an ideal. Like if this could be done, that would be the most awesome thing in the world. I'm talking about real-time AI playing on a real-time battlefield colored by the players. Something that they're looking down on. Perhaps it could even occur on a screen. And they could be pointing at the screen, with like a light gun style device. And that could help determine where the paint is going to go. Could be a live acrobatics show. Here's some of the Splatoon merchandise. Splatoon hats are a big hit. Fans make these for one another. Some of these are combination scarves and hoodies. And here are some real-life Inkling and Octoling outfits. I think it would be really cool to make some of these more popular outfits into actual wearable merchandise. As for water pistols and super soakers, so a lot of the people who bought these would prefer water over the slime that comes with it. This line, which I think can only be found in Japan, would do really well, I think. The ink tank is a really cool design. Could make coolers and bags out of them. This would be an opportunity for group AR photos with their own personalized Inklings. Or perhaps people could take photos posing, like, just a group of friends. And then through augmented reality, maybe they're standing with 4 circles below them. You can put in their Inklings standing right in front of them. So 4 people, 4 Inklings, let's say. And then people could just take turns taking photos in that section. The Splat Bomb is a pretty cool design. This is like, a little bit of a plushie. I was thinking you'd do an alarm clock in kind of that shape and size. Here's some plushies, of course. Now on to Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is like such an addictive title. I've played tons of those games, and they are so much fun and so relaxing. Nintendo does a fantastic job with them, and they appeal very strongly to female audiences. The key draws of Animal Crossing are interior decoration wish fulfillment, appealing aesthetics combined with full customization, an escapist fantasy, and strong writing and visually iconic and memorable characters. A lot of these people seem like people you would like to spend your time with. Therefore, I propose that any Animal Crossing themed areas should attempt to capture and bring to life these characteristics. Animal Crossing has such a laid-back vibe. It strikes a sweet spot between personal creative freedom, social aspects, the ability to share your island and designs, which in and of itself is a form of expression, with the world, and to play with your family and friends online. Life's everyday pains and difficulties are stripped away in favor of a system where you are always moving forward, always in control of your own destiny, and your character is never really penalized. Its mindless busy work and social elements make it the perfect game for relaxing and unwinding. Here is a potential product line for you. Polly Pocket styled Animal Crossing Pocket Town sets. Those products in the 90s were immensely popular. They could make a comeback with Animal Crossing themed sets. Miniature villagers could be exclusive to certain sets. Guests may potentially buy more than one set simply to have complete sets of beloved villagers. And if miniatures are a problem, just, choking hazard, you could have locks on them. Customizable products. Since customization is the name of the game in Animal Crossing, we would like to offer the opportunity to customize certain things. You could have decals and stickers, mugs, t-shirts, even Amiibo, or possibly even your little passport cards, which I didn't put on here. So in-game artwork, something that you could potentially buy or scan if it's freely available to scan. Maybe you could offer QR codes on certain receipts. You have a free QR code scan of the day. Here we have Isabelle, who is supremely popular. This Nendoroid figure set for Isabelle is receiving a 4th printing due to fan demand. Super popular. Isabelle is just a beloved character. Her appeal is universal. She is adored by women in Japan and now in the West. She is an icon and patron saint of the overworked. A tireless office worker with a can-do attitude who is able to take even difficult situations in stride. Isabelle's pretty cool. Tom Nook, also pretty cool. I don't know how many people love him as compared to Isabelle, but they are growing to love him more and more with each new release. Here's some more character-focused merchandise for some of the side characters. I love this mug, how I survived the 2020 quarantine. Now here we have some assorted fan-made Animal Crossing merchandise. These are little Lloyd Rocket flower pots. This is a custom cup with a custom name decal on it. This is a vinyl wrap for a Switch dock. And of course, here we've got the Froggy chair. Now, I don't quite understand this meme. I was never one of those Froggy chair fanatics, but people have got this thing straight up tattooed on them. Now, if that doesn't say something about how popular it is, I don't know what does. Time for Legend of Zelda. Zelda is not only my favorite Nintendo franchise, it is my favorite game franchise, period. I'm not sure if Zelda is in the cards to have a park or a park section, but if you do, I've got tons of ideas for this. Imagine the guests are transported entirely to a deeply beloved ancient land with a 1,000-year history. Its denizens are friendly, sometimes to a fault, but largely powerless in the face of evil, except for the young heroes, Link and Zelda, embodiments of courage and wisdom, blessed by the 3 goddesses of creation and entrusted with the protection of the land against the ultimate evil, Ganondorf. The 2 young ones must train and overcome the evil forces opposing all that is good. So Hyrule is a very diverse land, and it's a land of freedom, where all of the races sort of live together. And there's some places, such as the castle towns and metropolises, where they all gather together to buy and sell and to work together. Being that Hyrule is an ancient land, the prevalence of each of these species varies from game to game. That's okay because most fans know them all. Here's an idea for you. An extreme wooden coaster with a Zelda theme. Flashes of epic Link and Ganon duels play on screens in the line, and strobe-like flashes of animated fights are projected intermittently along the wooden beams as the ride goes on. Symphonic metal remixes of the best Zelda Final Showdown tunes play throughout the G-Force heavy coaster. heavy thunder and lightning effects as they clash with all their might. So every one of the final battles between Link and Ganon has been memorable and legendary in its own ways. This could be a huge tribute to those. Hyrule Castle Town, a bustling place. This would be the town square. Here we have Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and this is a fan render. Pretty cool, huh? Seen from afar, the castle and its town are awe-inspiring, with mighty buttresses and a tall central tower spire. As for the interior of the castle, it is a dazzling, hallowed interior space. Walls lined with tapestries and Triforce sitting upon a dais, glowing, emitting its mesmerizing harmonic hum. This could make a very good fine dining restaurant. Here's an idea for another gallery game. Actually, it's two different ideas. First, we have a gallery-style shooting game for kids and adults alike to try their luck. It's a good chance to feature the fan-favorite character Linkle, who has 2 crossbows. This could just be a game that fans could line up to play, and I think it would be pretty cool. Alternatively, you could have a 4D attraction. You could be given a bow, either attached to your seat or something that you bring in with you. Audience's seats will lean back and tilt upwards. Screens would shake and rattle as the action evolves on the screen. Link, Linkle, and Zelda will work their way from Hyrule Field to infiltrate Ganondorf's dungeon and take him down. There could be different quote-unquote paths to occur on different runs, depending on how well the audience does, or depending on what choices you make throughout the story. Here's some official merchandise. I think the Zelda merchandise that has come out so far is fantastic. I think Nintendo has done a really great job with Zelda merch. These Palandone lamps are really cool. Here's some fan-made merchandise. This great Deku Tree mug is really something else. So Ganondorf's robe, I'd like to see that in men's and women's. You could have a sort of sleeping robe, or something a little fancier. As for Midna and her dresses, some Midna-inspired fashions I think would go over really well, as Midna is kind of a fan-favorite character. This watch with the Clocktown face from Majora's Mask is also really, really cool. And of course, is a Sheikah Slake messenger bag. So here's some hats. This is the Minish cap. This foam Master Sword is really awesome. And rupee pouches. I was thinking that chests like these would be really good for storing Nintendo coins and other small collectible trinkets. Now, after Ocarina of Time came out, a whole bunch of fans rushed to fill the void of Link's Ocarina of Time. I don't see why Nintendo couldn't release their own Ocarina of Time if they so wished. I think that would be a huge hit, especially seeing as how that game has a resurgence. Game logo merch. You could sell temporary tattoos, vinyl stickers, iron-on, decals, enamel pins, phone cases, notebooks. Link's quest items hit that deep nostalgic spot. Foam replicas, props, and other trinkets might work. Here we have the Hylian shield. All this stuff is all good. Really cool. They can be sold as trinkets or props or even pins. Some Ganondorf. I think a Gerudo dress might sell pretty well. Majora's Mask would be a hot item, as well as the masks sold by the Happy Mask salesman. I believe that these figures came out along with Ocarina of Time. Now going back to the whole augmented reality idea, you could use a Lens of Truth app and phone case to turn your phone into a Sheikah Slate. It would also be really cool to have a sort of Sheikah Slate case for the Switch. We have here Lon Ranch milk bottles, some dioramas in bottles. The Palandone potion light is a very cool item, but imagine that with like a fairy inside with a tiny little habitat for that fairy. This was a handmade Link's Awakening Switch dock, which I think is really beautiful. I would really love to see more custom Switch docks, actually. And here are some more aprons, similar to the ones we looked at earlier. So Link is the hero of time, and here's a little description of what that means. He is a hero to boys and men everywhere, because he goes above and beyond to protect those that he loves. Zelda, on the other hand, is wise, selfless, pious, and always seeking to do the right thing. She is immensely learned, and though her personality varies greatly between the titles, she is generally a take-charge type A go-getter. Ganondorf is always in search of power. Sometimes he may not even know what drives him in his quest, but he is an incarnation of evil. He is a shapeshifter, a trickster, and a cunning leader of armies. He's also super powerful. Linkle is a minor character from the Hyrule Warrior series, but Linkle, I think, has potential to become more of a fan favorite character because her design is so good. Legend of Zelda famously has amazing art accompanying their games. I had this poster that came with the Versus guide for Ocarina of Time. Oh, how I wish I still had it. And from my Club Nintendo membership, I have had several Zelda posters, and I don't even have enough space in my room to hang them all up. I've got this one. This art is just amazing. I really hope that these posters can be sold, not just as paper prints, but potentially as canvas prints or cloth prints, and even on t-shirts. Here's some more ideas for potential Zelda posters. You could have some of the lore, such as the stained glass windows from Ocarina of Time or the giant battle from Breath of the Wild. Some cosplay ideas. This is Impa, who's another major character in Zelda. She is often a woman of color. Here is Fi, the spirit of the Master Sword. Zelda has had many different designs throughout the years. Here are just a few of them. This is young Zelda's hat from Ocarina of Time. This might make a good item to sell. Sheik hoodie could be really cool. Link and Errol from Wind Waker. These two also have really good outfits. Some Ganondorf cosplay, and this is, I believe this is Malon from Ocarina of Time. For Halloween, Zelda has so much potential because of all the creepy dungeons and crazy enemies that Link encounters. These subterranean, ancient spaces that he crawls through, trying to solve puzzles. Imagine adventurers setting into a haunted dungeon armed with nothing but the lens of truth, clearing one room at a time, besting time and physics-based puzzles. Floor masters patrol the ceiling and floor. Otherworldly like-likes try to lunge at them. Holographic enemies appear from the mist. At the end of the dungeon, you open a chest and recover your gear to the sound of the familiar chime. Think of a series of escape rooms with Dungeons and Dragons elements. So the idea is to have a sense of progression for the guests, so that at first even lifelong Zelda players don't know what to expect, but they'll gradually learn from context what is expected of them to clear each room. Proper use of environmental objects and given item necessary to proceed. Hyrule is home to much ancient technology, very little of which is explained or makes any sort of sense, other than that it is created and maintained by magic, divine magic. These temples or dungeons are often maintained and guarded so as to prevent anyone but the hero from acquiring the treasure held within. Now here are some of the baddies you could feature for Halloween. Alright, you got Redeads here, the Poe Ghosts, Skull Kid. Skull Kid is super popular among the fan base. Midna, with her creepy laugh. Human Midna. Zant. You've got the little Darknut Knights here. Twinova, the Twin Witches. Goma, the Arachnid, and many, 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 many others. Got Moblins, Bokoblins, Zelda has so many different enemies. Oh, and you've definitely got to have the Skulltulas. So as for the final challenge for Halloween, you're going to want to have maybe something like Phantom Ganon, who jumps from paintings. It's a really creepy boss battle, actually. Not too tough once you get the hang of it, and you've got to get good at aiming. But he leaps from the paintings. This could be accomplished through holographic technology, possibly. And then I picked Demise from Skyward Sword because the battle is so epic. And he is so imposing and scary. And it might be really cool to have the guests have an active role in the battle by either saying prompts or holding something up to sort of channel the lightning energy into the strikes. You could have some form of interaction. I picked Skyward Sword because of the motion control. Possibly even the wristband could be used in some manner in this battle. So for Kirby, we've got to have both cute and angry Kirby featured. Of course, because in the US, Kirby looks a lot more angry than he does in Japan. Here's some fan-made merch. Kirby hat kits can be sold as kits with patterns for fans to purchase and make on their own, or already completed. This Star Rod figure is in reference to the popular Kirby holding a knife meme, so this is really cute. I would love to see this as a figure. Some more Kirby stuff. These Ita bags somehow are the next big thing. Bags with these little transparent faces, and people can put all of their favorite little fandoms on the inside to sort of like advertise what they're fans of. Bandana Waddle Dee here is very popular in Japan, not so much in the West. King Dedede, or Dedede, has a rabid fan base. People were clamoring to get this guy in Smash Bros. Dedede's crouch face is kind of a meme as well. Meta Knight has his own fans, probably on the younger side. Peach and Kirby make a really good team, in my opinion. They're both pink, they're both super cute, and they work well together. Now on to Donkey Kong. Now Donkey Kong is one of Nintendo's oldest and most enduring franchises. It has experimented in many different directions, but it generally sticks to its platforming roots. Aided in popularity by the 90s TV show, Donkey Kong boasts a colorful cast of characters, a lineup of classic and beloved games, and fun, upbeat musical tunes. It's got appeal to all ages, young and old. DK as a character has appeared alongside Mario in many titles, but he also headlines his own very successful series. He's goofy, but he's something of a blank slate as well, so pretty much everybody can relate to him. DK's design is one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it things. And I think that his design is going to continue to endure. Now Diddy Kong is DK's best friend. He's resourceful, nimble, energetic, and a steadfast companion. He is the Tails to DK's Sonic. Dixie Kong is perhaps the next most popular of the Kongs. Then you've got Cranky Kong, the original DK. And Funky is seeing kind of a resurgence, whereas Candy, she's been missing in action for, I want to say, close to 2 decades now. King K. Rool here has a massive fan base. Tons of people wanted him in Ultimate. And he is so fun because he has so much personality. He's been featured in comics, TV shows, and multiple games. He is a cartoonish villain, and that is a large part of his appeal. He's large and in charge, except he's not really in charge. DK's in charge. Now when I think of the Donkey Kong Country games, I think of minecarts. And I think that a lot of people are probably expecting or hoping for a minecart attraction, on the level with something similar to Indiana Jones, or something perhaps a little more high speed. Now, an alternative to the minecart could be a water feature. There could be sort of a log jam ride, which could also fulfill that purpose. One of the cool things you could have in this ride would be 2 different tracks, where the guests are riding in one track and DK and Diddy are on the other track. And for a while you might be watching what they're doing, and there could be crazy antics. You could have King K. Rool and Kremlings on a different track, maybe a 3rd track, firing at them, firing at you. And maybe DK could save you at some point as well. And you can save him somehow. There could be interactive elements, I don't know. It's really up to your imagination. In terms of retro mini consoles, these are just a few of the portable consoles Nintendo released back in the 80s and early 90s. And I think they would have similar appeal to the NES Mini and other ventures in that direction. They would be sought after by collectors if released in limited quantities. Here's some official and fan-made merchandise. The DK bongos have seen a bit of a resurgence due to speedrunners and other gamers trying to use them. DK's retro clothing and ties. Here's some fan art of the series. This is based off a Frank Frazetta painting, actually. The cartoonish style from Donkey Kong lends itself really well to cartoons and comics. It just has a very wide appeal. Now, I'm not sure about licensing issues with this one, but sort of a Donkey Kong, King Kong kind of spin-off here, I think could be very successful. Now, I'm not going to talk that much about Fire Emblem because I'm not really sure how well it would factor into a theme park setting, but even just a little bit of Fire Emblem merch might go a long way. So here we have like a chess set, make a really cool present. Fire Emblem art prints and art books might be quite popular. I had previously mentioned the Amiibo and character cards. If premium figures were made for favorite Fire Emblem characters, I'm sure those would be very popular. I'm talking about like Lucina and Marth Figmas, or Ike Figmas, Amiibo stands and display cases like the one I showed earlier could be very popular. Accessories, these are the 4 legendary weapons from Fates, I believe. Various accessories, pins, patches, jewelry, replica weapons, etc. Anything identifiable by fans but not necessarily too showy or too graphic. So this is a little something I cooked up. This is a Port Town Nintendo sci-fi crossover. Since there's a lot of overlap between fans of Metroid, Star Fox, F-Zero, Earthbound, Kirby, and Pikmin, as all of them are science fiction franchises featuring interstellar travel, I think it would be a fantastic idea to make a section of the park just for them. Perhaps a restaurant with replica spaceships and a shared gift shop and a VR/dark ride. The restaurant can have its own backstory as a place that exists through some mysterious portal between worlds that drew the Star Fox team, Samus Aran, Olimar and Louie, Ness and Lucas, and Captain Falcon to the port to solve a mystery. So yeah, it's kind of a restaurant at the end of the universe type of scenario. This could also be sort of a Smash Bros. Hub, a sort of world between all the worlds where the characters come together. As for the major villain, I was thinking it should be Andross from Star Fox. Because it would be difficult to feature all of these franchises separately, I'm making the suggestion to feature them all at once. It's in the same epic ride, a massive VR battle against Andross and a fleet of space pirates. Perhaps the backstory can be mostly Star Fox themed and feature the evil Andross bridging dimensions in order to expand his pool of resources for his galactic takeover. There could be different roles that show different points of view of the battle. Pikmin-sized guests can ride in Fox McCloud's R-Wing as she shoots down bogeys and takes down Andross. Samus's gunship as she takes on the space pirates, Kirby's warp star as he zooms through the battlefield protecting the Great Fox Mothership, or as Ness protecting Captain Falcon's Blue Falcon as he's racing through a planet-based facility generating power for Andross's portal, dodging other F-Zero racers hired to prevent him from shutting it all down. Now obviously this is a very sort of epic and involved idea that features multiple scenarios being written and interacting with one another and happening at the same time. Just food for thought. It's just food for thought. I know it would take tons of money to make this a reality. One of these could be picked and featured as well. You could have a Metroid themed space battle. You could have a Star Fox themed space battle, which I think would be the best option. If you're just going to go with one franchise, I would make it Star Fox. Or you could have an F-Zero themed race, which I think would be kind of redundant if there's already a Mario Kart ride. Pikmin is a real-time strategy and puzzle game involving management of tiny dime-sized creatures. What's awesome about Pikmin is that it has kind of an environmental message to it. So I think that Pikmin would be great for theming the trash and recycling receptacles around the park, and as well as rest areas. I was thinking that rest areas could be built to make the guests feel like they are Pikmin-sized. You could have little canopies of, let's say, leaves or other natural elements that look oversized. So you can see them from a distance and be like, oh, that right there, that's a rest area. So the SS Dolphin is Olimar's ship. This is a different ship from Pikmin 3, but I like the interior of this one better. I would really like to see a Lego set of the SS Dolphin. Pikmin are super lovable. I mean, just look at their faces. How can you not love these little guys? Here are some ideas for Pikmin merchandise. On this side here, you have lawn ornaments and pots. Here you've got more like plushies for indoor use. This cool Alice in Wonderland themed t-shirt. And so here we have Earthbound, the classic Japanese role-playing game. Few games captivate with their stories and characters as deeply as the games in the highly influential and revered Mother series. I know the series is not super high on the priority list, but even just a little bit of merchandise and a little bit of acknowledgement would really go a long way for fans. Like this rare Mr. Saturn plush is literally listed for over $1,000 on eBay. Let's make these guys a reality. Bring them back, you know? F-Zero is the original high-speed futuristic racer. Wipeout, Extreme G, Fast Racing Neo, all of these guys are just riding F-Zero's coattails. F-Zero is the first, the original, the NES super high-speed futuristic racer. Now these F-Zero AX machines, which actually take GameCube memory cards, would be an absolute hit. Fans love these machines. They're so hard to come by. If you could feature some of them in the park and maybe just like a little F-Zero Blue Falcon, well not little, but you know what I mean, like a life-sized one, with a cast member playing Captain Falcon for photos. That would put so many people over the moon. You have no idea. It would just be an incredible acknowledgement of the series and its fans, just to have a vehicle and a cast member. Now, Metroid is another fan favorite series. It's never been the biggest seller, but it's supremely influential, and these games have really stood the test of time. I think it would be really cool to see a sort of Metroid in a capsule as a potential background element of something that looks totally alive and like it could just come out and get you. This could be a Halloween artifact for sure. It could also be something that is sold. I would love to get a Metroid lava lamp, or a holographic lamp, or a standing sculpture where it floats through magnetic tech, through levitation. You know, you have electromagnets on the top and bottom, and it sort of fluctuates up and down a little bit, you know, with the mandibles sort of opening and closing, just to give it the sense that it's alive. I think this would be a really sort of amazing gift idea for fans. They would pay premium for it if it looks and works really well. Here's some possible Metroid merchandise, since the fans are a bit on the older side. They probably appreciate something like this arm cannon, or maybe this Samus helmet, perfect for cosplay, or potentially even VR. The Omega Space Pirate was one of the more memorable bosses in Metroid Prime. Everybody loves the Omega Space Pirate. They would love to have a figure of it. Same goes with Meta Ridley, with Silux here. Obviously, we want a Samus and Zero Suit Samus series of Figma figures, especially Zero Suit Samus. I really would love to see maybe a 12-inch or a 18-inch posable power suit model. I think that would just put so many people over the moon with happiness. Here we have Zero Suit Samus's jet boots. We could have Metroid map posters and also art prints, of course. Samus's gunship is a favorite. This first 4 figures gunship looks incredible, but I think it's highly in demand because of how detailed it is. These LEDs too, just fantastic. Like similarly to F-Zero, if there is a life-size replica of this ship with a cast member outside dressed as Samus Aran, that would be met with an extremely positive response in my opinion. I'd recommend having model kits, Lego kits, miniatures, t-shirts, art prints. If you could have like a cross-section or blueprint of this thing as an art print, that would be really, really cool. Here's some Halloween ideas for Metroid. The themes of Metroid are sort of loneliness in the face of these dark, almost Lovecraftian horrors in the depths of space. This is a series that has an amazingly epic scope, and yet it's overlooked whenever people talk about some of the greater modern works of science fiction. Metroid has all of the marks of a great work of science fiction. So much thought has been put into this series, the world building and the lore, and I just don't think it gets the respect it deserves, and Metroid deserves to have a lot more fans than it already does. Here are some more ideas for the Halloween themed Metroid. This is Kraid here, giant being. Some of this is concept art from the Prime games. Now on to Star Fox, one of my favorite franchises. Here's a little explanation of the franchise and its popularity. The R-Wing is a absolutely fantastic design. I think that R-Wing model kits could be sold. This would be really awesome to be able to just pick up and assemble together, paint and put stickers on like a Gundam. And again, similarly to Captain Falcon and Samus, if you could just feature a life-sized R-Wing in the park and have a cast member dressed up like Fox McCloud, or potentially even just have the whole Star Fox team, that would just make everybody's day. Just to do, you know, pictures and pose. If you could have Samus's ship, the F-Zero, and an R-Wing, that would be like winning the Triple Crown of fan service. Here's some more merchandise ideas. Some of these are really hard to come by, or they're Japan only. This crystal plush was fan-made. This is a fan-made Landmaster. The Great Fox, the mothership, has an awesome design. I would love to see that realized. And here's the crew. Crystal is a totally underrated character, underrated by Nintendo, beloved by fans. Nintendo could really capitalize on this character. Nintendo, if y'all made a Crystal Amiibo, I don't think you have any idea just how popular that would be. Alright, so in conclusion, the key points are: a mass market audience can be converted into becoming Nintendo fanatics through exposure to a range of IPs and new experiences. Number 2, there are a plentitude of options for all of Nintendo's franchises, big and small alike, to stand out in NBC Universal parks. Number 3. Nintendo fanatics are knowledgeable about the company, ravenous for new and underrepresented product, forgiving, and understanding of delays and growing pains. Number 4. Nintendo should not be afraid to dig into the deep cuts of their back catalog, to find the hidden gems to build good word of mouth within the fan community. Nintendo fans discuss Nintendo properties with one another ad nauseum. I can't tell you how many threads I've seen where information has been repeated for years and years and years. So I've got my contact information on this page. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything at all, please let me know. I just want to help you out. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And I really hope that this venture goes well. Take care.